Suck my dick, fucking lick my balls, don't forget the tip, fucking Castlevania, baby. Alright, okay, seriously, if you guys missed out on the first season of Castlevania, you're really missing out on a beautiful piece of work. The guys over at Powerhouse Animation poured a lot of passion and art into the frames of this show, and just this past week they added another 8 episodes to the repertoire, and let me tell you, they are just as good, if not better than the first. Now, let's gush a little bit. I love Castlevania, but I've never beaten a single— wait, hold on, no, I did beat 3 somehow, but I've still never actually beaten a single one afterwards. They're very arduous games, but what's always the most surprising thing about Castlevania, more so with the newer editions, is the lore! Goddamn, there's a lot of story and lore behind these games. It's always behind Zelda in terms of story and stuff for me, so when I found out they were doing a Castlevania animated series, I got very, very excited. And duly so, because it was still really freaking good. So let's give you the basic story. This is Dracula. Could you tell? And he lives in a giant castle that can teleport around the world, and some chick just walks in and is just like, I want to learn the science. And he's like, oh, okay, all right. No one's really asked that before. So they live in peace and harmony, fall in love, and maybe have a kid or something. Just kidding, she's burned alive. It's pretty bad. And then Dracula's like, you've got 10 years or I'm going to kill your entire race. Guess what? The human race kind of forgets about that shit. And then lo and behold, 10 years later, some fat guy's talking about God or some shit, and then blood starts falling from the sky and people start dying. One of the things I love about this series is that they do not hold back on the blood and violence. So anyway, while this is all happening, Trevor Belmont is excommunicated from the Belmont family and goes and travels around and drinks and gets in fights. Then, while making his way through Wallachia, the place where this is all set, he finds himself going into a dark, deep dungeon, finding this chick, fighting a Cyclops, and then yada yada yada, plot, fighting. They end up at the burial chamber for the quote-unquote sleeping soldier, the hero that's supposed to save Wallachia from Dracula, and it's Alucard. And one of the other things that I love about the Castlevania series is that in these fight scenes, there is a lot of movement, and they do it very, very, very well. Down to the crazy teleporting, like, blink shit that Alucard can do. It's incredible. So yeah, they set out to go fight Dracula or some shit. You know, the drill. Now you'll notice that, yes, I've been showing you bits and pieces of the show, and the art and animation is incredible. But one of the main things that they don't really tell you about this show is the fucking voice acting. The voice acting for this entire series is fucking phenomenal, even though it's one step away from strange ASMR. Even in the second season, they managed to nail down the accents and the delivery of a lot of the speech. Even this guy, and I didn't really like this guy. He didn't really feel like he needed to be there. But the rest of the characters make a very valid push to actually be there. Even Dracula's human lackeys have compelling reasons to work for the Dark Lord himself. One of the other things I really liked about the second series is that they didn't make Dracula this like unassailable, like God King character. He's just a man. He is just a very, very broken man. And at the end of this now 12 episode series, you find yourself actually liking Dracula more than you thought. It's weird, it's crazy, I like it. So now there are a couple of things that I did want to say about it that aren't quite as good, and this is just a short Halloween video that I wanted to put out, so don't think too much into this, I'm just kind of going off the top of my head. First off, the pacing for the first 4 episodes is a little all over the place. You're just kind of left going, oh, I guess it's over now. That was weird. Second, they say fuck a lot, like a little too much. I know I'm not one to talk, but there is a golden rule with the F word and curse words in general for me, which is if you say it too much, it starts to devalue the word itself. This is coming from a guy who said the F word like 7 times in the first 5 seconds of his new video, but listen, I don't fucking care. And thirdly, okay, this is something I usually don't complain about, but I feel like it has to be said. The sound design for this show is incredibly above average. It's really, really well done. Everything from the soundscapes to the orchestral droney bits that happen during the more dramatic scenes are freaking great. I absolutely love it. But they somehow managed to fuck up Bloody Tears. How do you fuck up Bloody Tears? It's such a good fucking song. When I watched this sequence that had Bloody Tears in it, I was like, oh, that's Bloody Tears. All right, man, they really didn't try, did they? My first initial instinct was to be like, somebody on YouTube or SoundCloud has done a better version of Bloody Tears that they could have totally used here. And guess what? They did. Like, the original wasn't even on the same tempo or anything. It was really, really odd and out of place. Now, in the end, disregarding everything negative that I've said about the show, can I tell you to watch it? Absolutely, you should go watch Castlevania on Netflix. There's no excuse not to, unless you've got children, in which case, don't let them watch this. It's kind of scary. Happy Halloween, everybody!